Guys, hope everyone's well. It's Stuart Williams here from Thirlmere Deacon, as I'm sure you're all aware. I am currently, to set the scene, I'm currently in the foyer, the lobby for our churchside development, Wolverhampton city centre. I'm here with the developer, I'm here with the master JV partner for the building, and we're going over, having a quick look at all the work that's happened since we were last here. I think I was last here in January, to see how things have come on, how the coronavirus pandemic has affected works here, what the timescales and what the schedules are going forward, etc. And it's it's like if you've not been on any at any building sites, then this is a very eerie scenario to be in. So I'll just walk you around a little bit here. Look, go into here. This is the entrance. It's all basically. It's a stripped out building, and it's a very strange scenario, very strange setting. But I'm going to do a quick Q&A as planned from here on site. We are social distancing, so Andrew Ward is way over 2 meters away from me over there. And I want to just go through a few of the questions that we've had over the last week or so as we've been promoting this sort of Q&A session. But feel free to comment below and ask any questions that you have at the moment going forward. It's freezing cold in here, so I'm going to keep my jacket on if that's all right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to walk upstairs and show you a bit of what happens when you're stripping out a building like this. We're doing a PD conversion, which is a permitted development conversion, which means that it's usually office to residential. Here we go. Office to residential conversion, and that is it's a relatively easy conversion to do, and it's quicker from a planning point of view. Councils usually like this to happen because they want to get old buildings off their books and derelict buildings off their books. I'll just show you around. Look, this is the first floor. Getting into here. Oh, this is a good place to start. Here we are. Just show you what a building like this looks like when the strip out has started. Look. So, I'll just try and turn the camera around. Here we go. So we're in the centre of Wolverhampton. This is what the strip out looks like. So far, I've got to watch my step. But as you can see, lots and lots of work has happened. Lots of work is still yet to do. Come back around again. So there's lots to still happen here, but we are on schedule and expecting completion on this in the early part of 2021. And what we're doing here is 144 apartments that are going to be 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. High quality, exactly what the city needs. If we're just going to try and show you around here, I'll turn it this way actually. There you go. You've got the cathedral there. You've got St. John's Church just up this road here. All of this is cobbled streets. It's lovely out there. And then you've got, on the other side, you've got Sainsbury's, big Sainsbury's across the road there. We're right on the ring road, so I'll show you the other side of the building. Here we go. We're right on the ring road, which encapsulates the city centre. But this is what a stripped out building looks like. So they've started the work due to the coronavirus, due to the pandemic. Obviously, lots of things have slowed down, but we haven't lost a huge amount of time, which is good. So I want to just go through a couple of the questions that we've got, and feel free. Come on, where's my... I lost my power. Brilliant. I've lost my questions. So Alistair, if you're listening now, if you can send those questions through to me on this chat, that would be helpful because my power seems to have gone on my laptop. And And I don't know how much power there is in this building, so okay. Further down into the lobby area again. And see if I can get myself plugged in. Here we go. Right. So, yeah. Let's see what we can do for a plug socket. Is there a plug socket? Who's going to come with me and find a plug socket? This is riveting TV, riveting stuff. Alistair is watching. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get the questions up on another app simultaneously. So bear with me, guys. Here you go, plug sockets. Set you guys up here. No, is the answer. No power. No power in this building at all. Hi, George Griffiths, nice to have you on board. Ali, nice to have you as usual. But okay, so Ali, if you could send me through questions on the chat, that would be easier. I can answer the questions as they come in. Oh, here we go. From a borderline Berliner. This was the question number 1 that we had. So I'm going to sit here and try and go through some of these. Andrew Ward is here as well, so can jump in. First of all, excuse the overgrown beard and hairdo. We're all in need of barbers. We want everybody to get back to work now. So here we go. First question that we had in from borderline Berliner. His situation: I'm an EU citizen and an undergraduate student in the UK. I currently have limited leave to remain. Okay, so he will be a UK citizen between 2025. Okay, my parents are EU citizens as well, but they've never lived in the UK and do not have any income whatsoever. As I'm a student, I do not have any income as I am a student. The question is, given these circumstances, is it possible for my parents / me to get a mortgage or to buy a property in the UK? I would say to you, borderline Berliner, that for yourself as a student with no income and no provable income, it would be tough for you to find a mortgage product, unfortunately. So getting a mortgage with no provable income is very, very difficult. But for your parents, as you've asked there, for your parents, that's absolutely fine. I mean, being EU citizens, they would do, they do almost as well as being a UK citizen here to get it with regards to approval. It shouldn't be too hard for them to get approval to get mortgages here in the UK, so they could buy, as long as they've got proof of income. As long as they have a certain level of income, as long as they have a certain level of credit, score, etc. I think they do absolutely fine finding finance here to buy to let in the UK. You yourself, unfortunately, as a student, you probably struggle to prove your income and therefore not have many lending options available to you. So the answer to that question is you probably want to go through your parents and have your parents buy in their names, or have your parents set up and work out some sort of trust for you. But I would suggest best thing to do if you want to get involved with the UK property market is buy through your parents' names and have you on the mortgage, also have you on the ownership as well, or set up a limited company in the UK and have you all as directors, etc. So couple of good options there. It's not dead in the water for sure. There are definitely options available to yourselves and your parents. Okay, hope that answers your question. Next question is from 3,500 on a coat. Sounds like my kind of guy. Here we go. Spending 3,500 on a coat. Hello, looking to buy my first house, but not sure whether to do it via a limited company or pay a dividend to myself for any purchase. Here we go. Also, probably understand that nobody can really give a definitive answer, but should I wait a few months to purchase on this basis that the house prices might decrease? Okay, so there's two questions there. The first one is looking to buy my first house. Not sure whether to do it via a limited company. If you're buying your own personal property, I don't really see the point of buying it in a limited company. I mean, if you're buying your own personal property, you know, the reason that you buy in a limited company is to have slightly more favourable tax situation when you're getting income in from that property, etc. But if you're buying your own house, I don't know why you'd want to do it through a limited company. You'd probably just want to have that on your name. That looks good going forward. That looks good going forward for investment when you are actually buying investments. So you've got property in your own name, etc. So your first house, you know, your own house, buy it in your own name. You know, that shouldn't be an issue at all. And I generally think that's probably the best way to start your property portfolio. If you're buying your own property, get that set up, get it in your own name. If you're buying an investment property, then fair enough. If you're expecting to achieve a return from this and you want to be as tax efficient as possible, then yes, maybe a limited company might be the best setup for you. But if, like I think you're suggesting here, you're looking at something for your own house, then that might be the easiest way to do it, would be to buy personally and then benefit from the, you know, from all the security that gives. And then the second part of your question was, I understand that nobody can really give a definitive answer, but should I wait a few months for the purchase prices because they might go down? The answer to that is why? Why do you think they would go down? Why do you think property prices will go down at this point? And it's a question that we've had, a number of times, a question that a lot of investors put to us as well. Because, there are certain narratives in the media that would say that the property prices are going to go down. People are basing that, in my opinion, on a standard normal recession, normal recession is as if there is a normal recession, but on the biggest one that we had recently, 2007, 2008, biggest financial crash. Property values absolutely tanked after that because they were unnaturally high. So there was a bubble preceding that crash. Property values at this stage, in this current climate, haven't been overinflated, so there is not going to be a reduction in pricing. I mean, let's think about this right now. I mean, any of you watching at the moment, would you sell your property right now for under what it's worth? I don't think you would. Neither would any developer. So there's not going to be a rush to be selling things for under market value at the moment because property is still in demand, and values are being upheld because they're actually at a feasible and genuine level. Whereas 2008, when we had a crash, we had a correction in property values because they were actually overinflated preceding that crash. So I don't see that there's going to be a decrease in property values. There definitely, with this coronavirus pandemic, there definitely is a decrease in sale numbers, so there's definitely a decrease in sale numbers of sales for sure, but that's going to ramp up as we step out of the sort of lockdown scenario, and that's going to creep back up. So I'd say that will correct itself by the end of the year. So Q4 this year it will correct itself. However, I don't see there being a massive drop in numbers. If you are looking to buy a house from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for example, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith are in dire straits at the moment, and they can't sell, and they're struggling to sell because of the numbers of people or footfall trying to buy property at the moment, or trying to buy their own forever homes, for example. That's dropping, so the number of sales are dropping. So if Mr. and Mrs. Smith desperately need to sell, then they might reduce their price. But you know, that's a personal situation, and that can't be reflected across the market. There is not enough property in the country at the moment. There's still, you know, we're still way behind. We're still completely undersupplied. And valuations are actually, you know, they're kicking about the right areas at the moment. So I generally don't think that there's going to be a decrease in values. So I hope that answers your question. 3,500 on a coat. What I'd like to find out is, can you show us that coat that cost you 3,500 quid? Right, moving on to Aaron Carter. Hi, Aaron. I hope you're well and your family's staying safe. Let's have a look. Can I see that, please? Hope my battery doesn't run out, by the way. If it does, I'll try and catch up with you later. Aaron Carter. Hi, everyone. What are your thoughts on, is it worth buying a property at this time? Again, I think I've answered it in the previous question. I don't think there's any real risk of values going down. So if you're in a position to buy property at the moment, buy property at the moment. It's a great opportunity now for a lot of investors getting involved, because like you say, you know, like I mentioned before, the number of transactions are down, and therefore developers hi Tolga, nice to see you, mate. Always with the Jolie and Lescott comparisons. Does anyone else think I look like Jolie and Lescott? Excuse my hair at the moment and the beard, but does anybody else think like I look like ex-Everton striker Jolie and Lescott? I don't think so, and I don't think anybody else does, except Tolga from Taiwan. Hi again, mate. Nice to see you. And yes, I am. I'm at Churchside with Andrew Ward. There's Andrew Ward there. I'm in the lobby at the bottom of the building, so it's it's a really surreal scenario. So we've let ourselves in, the agents let us through, and we're coming in. I showed you guys earlier the strip out and how it started and what the different phases are for stripping out. I'll tell you what, while I've got you, I'm going to go upstairs to the top floor. So stick with me here. I'm going to go upstairs to the top floor. It's a bit scary, but if you can bear with me, I think you'll benefit from having a look at it. I'm going to be out of breath, so follow me up to the top floor. Tolga, I think you're on the second floor, my friend, which is here. Tolga's floor. Let's have a look. Right, big strip out in here. Look, lots and lots and lots of work to be done. But even now, look, really nice views, decent surround. Just had a call in from my missus and my son, probably FaceTime, which is bad because you should be watching this. It's quiet, it's green, if you can see. Hang on. John Tavel says it's harsh on Jolie and Lescott. Oh dear. So, give you an idea of what's going on. Almost got electrocuted there. So, I'm going to go up to the top floor. Is it the right time to be buying property? Yes, in answer. We're all in a position now where numbers of transactions are down. Okay, so numbers of transactions are down. So that's how you're going to get a good deal, because numbers of transactions are down, but values are where they should be. So if a developer or, I'm out of breath, or a seller is in need of selling, or desperate to sell, then yeah, you might find yourself getting a good deal. But look at this. This is really cool. That's Wolverhampton here, look. It's really nice green over there. Xavier Williams says, I need the gym. This is the first time I've been out of the house in 2 months, and I'm knackered going up those stairs. But it's a really nice spot here. And yeah, to cap off and answer that question, yeah, you might find yourself getting a decent deal, because you might find yourself in a position where a developer needs to shell out and needs to exit. So you might be able to get a couple of add-ins thrown on. Hi everyone else joining the live stream. It's good to have you in. I'm walking through, just to give you some context, walking through a building that we are stripping out at the moment and creating 144 apartments. And we are right in the centre of Wolverhampton City. Here. Sean Jolien. What else have we got? I hope that answered your question, Adrian Carter. What's your thought? Is it worth buying property at the moment? Yes, it is. If you can get in, it's always a good time to be getting in. Property in my ethos has always been it's a long-term game. Don't buy into property if you're trying to get in. Well, I'm not saying don't, but if you're trying to get in and out within a year and a half, 2 years, then you're pretty much in the lap of the gods. But if you're buying property with a view to buy and hold for a long-term period, this is really scary around here. For a long-term period, then you'll be absolutely fine. Wolverhampton named one of the top property hotspots in England. Do you agree? Good question, Tolga. At the moment, Wolverhampton is, in my book, an excellent opportunity because of its proximity to Birmingham, which isn't far at all. I drove past Birmingham on my way here, probably about 15 minutes drive on from Birmingham. I think from the ripple effect, and we use that word a lot, that term a lot, the ripple effect of Birmingham, what it's generating is a surrounding sort of satellite city bonus. So people flooding into Birmingham because of the jobs, but the prices they've shot up. So over the last 5 or 6 years in Birmingham, prices have shot up, and therefore surrounding towns and cities like Walsall, like Dudley, like Redditch, Redditch I'm going to be in about an hour, like Wolverhampton, they are benefiting from that because they're getting footfall. They're getting people, priced out of Birmingham, wanting to live in a nice city, wanting to commute into Birmingham. So Wolverhampton is probably the biggest known and biggest city out of all of those satellite locations to Birmingham, and it is generating a very, very good rental demand at the moment and property purchase demand. And then if you turn a camera around here, so outside of this building at this moment, that is a car park right now, but across here, all of that section and up to there, all of that section up to there, and this car park, as far as I understand, is going to be the West Side shopping centre. I'm still struggling from those steps. The West Side Shopping Parade, which is basically shopping, leisure, bowling, cinema, bars, restaurants, etc. All of that sort of thing is going to be done just across the road from our site, literally just across the road from our site. And we're talking about a £55 million expansion to Wolverhampton city centre. And that is across, it's directly, what we can see here. All of that will be a £55 million expansion to the city centre. If you know Telford, which is again just up the road, Telford is not far away from here. They've done another sort of shopping parade and leisure complex there, and that's created a huge amount of jobs. It's created good numbers for their economy, and we're doing exactly the same thing here in Wolverhampton. I always say, because I went to the one in Sheffield not long ago, outside the Sheffield Arena. It's exactly the same thing, the Miller and Carter steakhouses and Wagamama's and your McDonald's and all those kind of things. But then you've also got the massive cinema and the arcades and the bars and the restaurants and stuff. So it does bring in a lot of footfall, does bring in a lot of economy, and that's going to be here, directly across the road from our site. Next question. Hope that answers your question, Tolga. So yes, good time to be buying in to Wolverhampton. As long as you're thinking of holding it for a decent period of time, you'll do pretty well. I hope I haven't got lost now. Next question from Karam. Let's see if I can answer that. Deal sourcing seems to be trending. Okay, here we go. Deal sourcing, hang on. Here we are. Deal sourcing seems to be trending at the moment. What are your thoughts on that right now? Is it worth pursuing as a full-time job? Honestly, in my personal opinion, no. And I don't want to poo-poo it too much, because there is a lot. A lot of people have done quite well from it, but times have changed and times have passed, and it's. The days where you could make a lot of money sourcing deals for investors, in my opinion, have passed. And what happens now is there are a lot of people selling courses to do this type of thing, a lot of people trying to do this type of thing, and therefore fewer and further between are you getting any deals. So what happens is lots and lots of people trying to do it, and therefore a lot less work actually gets done, a lot fewer deals actually get done. And then, when you extrapolate all the work that you actually do, so you're leafleting, you're flyering, you're going around, you're trying to source deals, you're scratching around and trying to get everything you can in over and above everyone else who's doing it. And then, let's say you win big and you do source a good deal and it works and you make, 15, 20K out of it, but it's taken you 9, 10, 11, 12 months. 15, 20K, you could have got that. Working a regular job, get yourself I was going to say get yourself into KFC and get behind the counter there, because it's that's the sort of frequency you're going to get from it, and that's if you're lucky. So no, in my opinion, it's probably not the best full-time job. I'm sure people will disagree with me, and I'm sure people have done extremely well with it, and I'm sure you probably could, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything, but numbers state that you're probably better off, looking into, putting some money together and putting your own money into property market, okay, and benefiting from your own money into the property market over a long term, whilst building up a pot for your own investments. Let's see if we've got any further. I think that's it. I'm being beckoned now. We're going to get back into the cars to go across to our Redditch site. So I'm going to leave you guys all to it. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I hope that enjoyed that little tour of what a stripped out site looks like. And I hope everyone enjoyed me being out of breath on camera, because I definitely am. But look, thanks again for tuning in. We'll do it again. Tolga, nice to see you. Andrew, can you wave to Tolga?
Hello, Tolga. What are you doing?
Tolga's online. So we're all...
Go on, Chester City.
We can't wait for the football to get back on. But look, comment any more questions that you have. Feel free to comment below, get in touch with us, speak to any of the team. And, we're going to do this sort of thing more often. Once the lockdown is sort of lifted, we're going to be in more sites, we're going to be at more locations, and you'll get to see more of what we do on a day-to-day. But thanks everyone for tuning in. And I will be off to Redditch and I'll take some pictures. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts on that as well. All right, guys, see you later. Cheers.